Hello and welcome to the Blue Mountain basket class. So this is what we're going to be working with today. It's a double wall design, and the first part goes up pretty easy and the second part is this design, and it might look intimidating but actually it weaves up really easy. So the only skills you need to know are an under-over weave and a basic twine with this wax linen. Other than that, this is a really simple basket. You can see the inside. We'll do a chicken foot in the base, and then this is kind of something I've been wanting to do for a while. This is a double handle rim, and I love this design because you can put your mail, you can put cookware in this. It's just a really pretty wall basket. So the things you're going to need besides your kit today are your spoke weights, or you can use book or a spare piece of wood, whatever's heavy that's going to keep this base down so it's not flying up in your face. And then the second and third thing we're going to need is we're going to need a pair of scissors right there, and then a weave right tool for packing. That's all you're going to need outside of your kit. Now you may see I have exact numbers that I'm working with today for my stakes and weavers. You will always have extra in your kit, and that is for if it breaks, or if you don't like it, or it gets fuzzy, or you don't, sometimes dye might rub off on it for whatever reason. So make sure you're weaving with what is in the pattern, not what is in the kit, because you'll always have extra of everything. So we're gonna put her aside. And then off camera, I've had my base weavers soaking. So this is a really easy setup. So you're gonna have 3 at 3/4. I'm gonna squinch those in here. And then, so it's 3 3/4 and then 2 1/2 inch. So I'll show you how to set that up. So what I like to do is set up the 3 3/4. Just slide them under here. You can probably hear the rainstorm going outside my door right now. That's fun. See, this is what you should be doing on a rainy day. Weaving baskets. Drinking chai, whatever you like, or coffee, or dirty chai, even better. So now we got these 3 placed, and now we're going to put in the 1/2 inch. And the 1/2 inch is smaller because we're going to do a chicken foot base. And actually I'm going to move everything so you can see it a little bit better. Okay. So the 1/2 inch goes on either side of the middle 3/4. So it'll look something like that. So now when you're weaving, if you're a beginner weaver, you won't know this. If you're practiced weaver, you'll know this. Run your thumb along the both sides of your reed, and one will feel more fuzzy or hairy than the other side. And the really hairy side you want on the inside of the basket, so the pretty side stays on the outside. But if you don't, I can show you at the end how to burn off the hair so it is all pretty and flush. So now we got our first stake set. So these will be, these 3 3/4 are 40 inch, and then these 1/2 inch are 28 inches. That's what you're going to be working with. So now we're going to get our 3/4 inch at 22 inches, and we're going to start weaving the base with them, and there's 17 of those. And just make sure when you're getting all these ready that you soak them in hot water before you get ready. Not warm water, not lukewarm. Make sure it's hot, because then it'll speed up the process and it makes the material way more flexible. So we're going to weave the first row, and it's going to be under the 3/4 and then over the 3 middle, and I'll show you what that means. So we're gonna go under, over, under, and then this is our middle one. And actually, before I really get going, I can open this up. So, what you do for this design is you want to make sure to measure the halfway point. So we know this is at 40 inches, so half of that is 20. I'm going to just take my spoke weight real quick. So 14 and 6. So we're close. So go ahead and mark the halfway point on the 3/4 and then measure the ½ inch as well. So 2 out of 28 is 14, so then we're going to measure 14 inches just so we don't have to shuffle these too much. So then line those marks up. And then that way you don't have to really shimmy. You're weaving around, you can just go for it. So put that back down. All right, now this is kind of an interesting base, and it's kind of counterintuitive, because what you're going to do is usually you would go over, under, over, under. You don't do that for this design. Like I said, it's a chicken foot base. So what you're going to do is you're going to weave 8 to either side of this center one. And all you're going to do is go in the opposite weave as was your center one. So this was under, so this is going to be over, and then under this 3 and over. Really simple. And then what I like to do is just kind of do on either side of your center stake and just go like that. So you're going to do the left one, then the right one, then the left one, right, or right, left. And like I said, you will have extras of these, so make sure you count 17 stakes. Because if you have more than 17, you put too many in. So now I got 4 on this side, so now make sure that I got 4 on this side. And just rinse and repeat the whole base. This is one of the easiest bases I've ever done. I'm sure there's going to be people say, you say that now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you know, as I'm weaving, I'm constantly counting to make sure I'm right on. So that makes 7. Oh, no. So let me show you why we pack. And this doesn't matter because this is my basket. But see how this is splitting here? This is why we always pack extra. So if this is in your basket and you don't like it, you won't be able to notice it. But if you don't like it, slide this out, put another piece in, you're ready to go. So let's see, I got 2, 4, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. All right. 2 more. is when you're going to want to true your base. And the trued base for this basket is 21.5 by 3.5 by 21.5. So you want to make sure that you've got that on your base. So let's go ahead and measure. So what do we got? We have 20, so that's too tight. Gotta loosen that up a little bit. And here's pro tip. What I do, instead of like trying to, you know, push all these out immediately, just do these ones first, and then take that measurement, and then start spreading them up. Start spreading the news, as it were. As otherwise, you're gonna drive yourself nuts. Okay, so that's 21.5, and then we'll spread. All right. So we're back and we're measuring 3.5, so that's still not quite it. You want to make sure it's 3.5 all the way across. So I usually measure on each end and then in the middle. So that's 3.5. That's, okay, I promise I can measure. 3.5. And 3.5. Okay, so that's good. Then we want to measure 21.5. So that looks good on this end, and that looks good on that end. Okay, so now the other part of this is you are welcome to measure each side, but what I like to do is just take each one and kind of fold it up and see if it's even on either side. So, and then you can kind of see the tips will meet and it'll be good. So then I just kind of go on each one and measure it like that. And it doesn't have to be exact, you're just eyeballing it. But if these are too long on either side, what'll happen is sometimes you won't have enough when you're weaving. So it's really critical to just go through real quick, double check, and make sure everyone's right. Middle one. So that one's a little fidgety. So you can see a lot of it is just really minor adjustments. Just pull or push wherever it needs to go. And then, yeah, that one's way off. So after that, I go through and measure it again just to make sure I didn't wreck my base. This 21.5, it's 3.5, 3.5. 3.5. Okay, so now that that's done, what we're going to do is we're going to crimp the base. So all you're doing is these ones that are under, you're going to lay them flush, and then you're going to find the edge on these ones that are over and just kind of pinch them and crimp them. That way, when you start weaving horizontally, they will stay up. And this is a critical step because you're really shaping the basket in these beginning stages. Go around all sides. Oops. No. See there. And then, let's see. So, when I was truing this, what happened was I didn't adjust the 1/2 inches lengthwise, but that's okay, because you know what? That's an easy fix. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just use my weave right, and I'm gonna pull this up a little bit over here, and then I'm just gonna thread it through the basket. And if this was dry, this would move a little bit easier, but because it's wet, it's sticking a little bit, which is fine. So let me fix the other side. There we go. All right. That works. So now that is trued up and should be good to go. So once again, when you measure or when you straighten out anything, you always want to check your base before you start weaving. So 3.5, 3.5. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna crimp these. All right, there you go. You're gonna crimp these 1/2 inches. You're gonna crimp them like that. And then you're gonna go over this first one, and then you're gonna go on the 3rd weaver right here. Actually, I'm gonna move that a little bit there. And then all you're gonna do is do a chicken foot. So you take these pieces, you crimp them, and you kind of stack them on top of each other so it makes a V, or it looks like a chicken foot. And that is how you kind of finish your trued up base. So now we're going to go on the other side. We're going to do the same thing. So you take your 1/2 inch, you crimp it down, and then you go under the 3rd weaver in. So 1, 2, 3. Crimp, and then kind of go on top so it looks like chicky toes. And there you go. So that's done. And then we're going to crimp these on the edge here real quick. Okay, and then we're going to get to the fun part. We're going to start weaving.